VEDA, day 25. It's so hot and I had to turn off my fan so that I wouldn't get noise interference, so you're going to have to deal with me fanning myself this entire video. Oh, what was that? This fan is too majestic for you, you're saying? You can't handle the regalness of this particular fan? Well, I do have others, but I'm not quite so accommodating. You're just going to have to get used to it. That's right, I'm a noble lady. I'm classy like that. But that's not what this video is about. I find it amazing how women can get away with being totally perverted just because they're talking about something that's coming from a romance novel. Like if a guy was talking about like a sex scene in like a novel or a movie that they had seen and they're like, dude, it was like so hot. It would be like, you creepy children, you stop that now. But if a woman is talking about something, they're like, oh, and they just like stripped off her corset and it was just like, oh, take him now. It's totally okay. No, it's not okay. That's called erotica. But it's totally fine because, you know, it's a lady. And it's talking about a romance novel. And it's just like, oh, you crazy girls. You crazy, crazy girls. You're just so silly. You're so silly with your crazy dime store novels. Case in point, my coworkers. The best part of my week is always whenever they decide to discuss what books they're reading, because it's hilarious. To give you an idea what my coworkers are like, by the way, Joanna is like a total dreamer, gets caught up in it, like thinks that she's the main character, like take him now, sailor kind of person. While Karen's just like, that's hot. That'll never happen though. I mean, really, what's the likelihood? So Karen's like super realistic. Joanna's like, oh my god! Also, the kind of novels that they read, I crack up. They read like the novels that I see at the grocery store, and I think they're hilarious. Like, I read the backs because they're fun. You know what I'm talking about. They're like the books where it's like a torso of a man from like here to here, and he's just like ripped and holding like a single rose while like some of his hair falls over his pecs or something like that. They're ridiculous looking, and then you read the back and you're like, this is why you have a ridiculous cover, because you have a ridiculous story, and it makes me giggle. I read those books. Like, seriously, one time Karen came in and was like, oh my god, they started selling romance novels at the dollar store, and I was like, I'm not going to say anything right now about the fact that you're buying your literature from the dollar store. I'm not going to say anything because I'm a polite and wonderful person. Actually, I'm a terrible person. I just kind of sat there and I was like, judgmental! Judgmental! Like, whatever you're reading, so much better, Sarah. It is. Anyway, it's hilarious to hear them talk. Like, the first week I was working there, Karen comes out front and she's like talking to Joanna about what she's reading, and she like just finished it, and Joanna was like, oh, can I borrow the book you're reading? And she was like, sure, of course you can. Joanna's like, so what was it about again? And Karen said, oh, it's like this Midwest, old Western thing with like a cowboy or something like that. And Joanna's just like, a cowboy, you say? And Karen says, yeah, it's a cowboy. And she's like, is he big and strong? And Karen's like, of course. And she's like, I bet he has a sexy name, doesn't he? What's his name? Best part of my day. Best part of my day that day. Karen saying, no, his name's just Rick. And Joanna's saying, I can work with that. Yes, that's right, Ricks of the world. We can work with you. Your name is just sexy enough. We can work with it, provided that you're a ripped cowboy. If you're not a ripped cowboy, I would work on that. And incorporate some plaid into your wardrobe. And faded jeans. And a hat. And boots. And a thing of rope. And cattle. And a horse. It's a lot of work to be attractive and be named Rick. I'm sorry. But seriously, it's hilarious. Like, one time they were having a conversation where Joanna was saying how historical romances are the best because then there's more layers to just slowly peel off during the sex scenes. It was also during this conversation that Joanna, I forget what she was talking about, but she was just like walking away, like enwrapped in a fantasy, and she's like, his thick member pressed against her thigh, and I was like, I can't believe you're saying this in public, in like a workplace, and it's so funny, and I'm trying to die laughing right now. By the way, I'm an extremely quiet person, so usually I'm just like sitting at my desk and I'm like, oof, 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 oof. Just the best conversations, like Karen coming up front one time and being like, man, Joanna, you'd like this book I'm reading. And Joanna was like, oh, really? Why? And Karen's like, it's like hot and steamy right from the get-go, and it's like pushing them up against trees, and I'm like, Probably the funniest occasion was when Joanna came in from break one time and she was all shaken up and like, oh god, and Karen was like, what's wrong? But I was like zoned out for half the conversation, and then I come in and Joanna's saying that she got freaked out from the book she was reading because there was some like crazy like bondage scene. It's like, what are you reading? What are these weird books that you are picking up and reading? You are mind-boggling to me. See, I laugh about it, but at the same time I think it's hilarious when I find out people are into it. I think it's amazing how women are able to be so perverted, like how Joanna can just be like, pressed up against her thigh, and it's like, that was a really, really dirty thing to say in the middle of your office, but it's okay. It's cool. So that's my subject for today. I've been thinking about this for a while, because like I said, my favorite part of the day is listening to people at work talk about those things, because it's hilarious. I love hearing them talk about their trashy romance novels that they're reading. Someone's always cheating on someone else with their sister, and then it turns out to actually be their daughter. Yeah, that was a real case. That was a real one. And I hope you have a lovely day. Just a fantastic, wonderful day. And if you live in a country where you get Easter Monday off, I hate you. Yeah, I hate you. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I love you. Gorgeous. You're beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. That was a triple wink. Now it's a quadruple. I'm gonna stop being creepy now. Bye! It's okay to be creepy though, because I'm a girl.